and I'm back with my Thoughtful Thursdays. Thoughtful Thursdays are all the interesting conversations that I have with people during the week, things that have sparked a thought in my mind and set me thinking. And this is a topic on optimism. And I wanted to talk about this about a month ago when I read a LinkedIn post by Vinith Panchi who spoke about a lady saying that his optimism was obnoxious. And this obnoxious optimism actually set him thinking, saying that, hey, am I being insensitive? Am I being optimistic in this scenario when everything else, is really going bad for people? But my friends, optimism is something that 80% of us are hardwired. And it keeps us going. It gives us the willpower or infinite power within us to claim what we have within us. Now, what is important is he also talks about the refugee Punjabi community. And he says that when that happened, they said that, whatever has happened has happened. Aage di socho is that what you need to do is look ahead and look at what you can do now. And I forgot about that completely and I went about my business till about 2 weeks ago when I was doing some consumer work. A consumer said, emotionalism सब ठीक है, but आप हमारे लिए क्या करने वाले हो? आप हमारे लिए extra क्या करने वाले हो? And that's when the word optimism came back again, and I said it's a double-edged sword. And if brands are planning to use optimism, then we need to better get it right. And why I say it's a double-edged sword? Because optimism needs to be balanced with realism. And we've all heard of the optimism bias. But what can we do to bring in realism so that we don't wear these rose-tinted glasses and make all these plans and ideas and then suddenly realize that they're not going as per what we imagined it to be? So how do we bring in realism? And I've got 2 suggestions. The first suggestion is productive optimism. What do I mean by productive optimism? Of course, you need to have a dream. You need to anticipate how it is going to look like. But you also need to think of what is the best outcome that can come out of it. You also need to think that what is it that I can do to maximize the best outcome out of this experience. And only then you'll be able to bring in objective realism. And that is why I say it is productive optimism. And I did even an episode on prospective hindsight, which brings in realism to all the ideas and innovations that we are planning. But that is still at an individual level, and I was not very happy. And I said, what is it that is missing? Because at an individual level, you can still manage. But what happens if you want to bring in change at a global level? Say if it's a climate change or something that you're looking at, even the pandemic. And I went and I said, let me listen to some TED Talks. And I found a TED Talk by Tom Rivet-Carnac, who's a political strategist. And it was very sweet of him. He said, I was, fully charged when I got a job at the UN and I thought I was going to change things. And he flashes a picture of the UN where, it's meeting after meetings and you're just bored. And he said, I got painful and it became weary and I just got tired. And I almost, he said, went into a state of feeling depressed that how is this change going to happen? But one of his friends said this journey is going to be painful, but it is going to grow over a period of time. And what struck him is that when you have a shared purpose and you have a shared realistic challenge, then things start moving. And the example that he gives about stubborn optimism is about Winston Churchill. And when the First World War got over and Britain and they were like just reeling with the First World War and said that hope, the second one does not happen. And how did he change that? The stubborn optimism or the deep, determined, gritty optimism that they were not going to cow down no matter what. They were going to fight this war and they were not going to surrender. That actually shared purpose and a shared realistic outcome And that stubborn optimism is what made the difference. It was not about winning or losing. And another example that he gives about stubborn optimism is closer to home. It's Mahatma Gandhi. It's the first Dandi March, the SALT Act. That paved the way, the shared purpose that we're going to fight this and the shared realistic outcome. That really made the difference. So there are two suggestions. We are hardwired for optimism and we need to be optimistic rather than live in despair. But you need to bring in objective realism. And the way you could do this is by productive optimism or stubborn optimism. But my friends, you need to practice optimism. It is not something that you can write and blow people's mind away. That's why I say optimism is a double-edged sword. Balance it with realism. If you like what I say and you want to know more, reach out to us on all our social media handles. Comment, like and share.